This is the story of Nutronics Labs. They say that necessity is the mother of invention. Well, such was the circumstance in 1995 when Rick Lentini, an investigative professional and businessman living in Chicago, was visited by his cousin, also named Rick. His cousin shared that his brother Michael was dying of a rare bone disorder and wanted Lentini to do something about it. "What can I do? I'm not a doctor. I'm not a miracle worker," Lentini compassionately answered. "You know people," his cousin desperately shouted back. Lentini promised to ask around. But in the days and weeks to come, he would more than do just that. You see, all his life, Rick Lentini has been helping people. His gift of curiosity and investigation is shadowed only by his kind-heartedness to those in need. With all the diligence of a detective set on solving a case, Lentini's efforts via the internet and other sources led him to learn about IGF-1, insulin growth-like factor, and how it promotes the growth and division of rapidly dividing cells in the body. Lentini was convinced that if he could find the source of IGF-1, he might be able to help his dying cousin. This is where Dr. Alex Duarte enters the picture. Dr. Duarte is revered as a world authority on IGF-1 and explained to Lentini that a natural source is the marrow from deer, known as deer antler velvet. Duarte explained that the Chinese have known about this natural phenomenon and have used it for thousands of years. A short time later, Dr. Duarte flew from his home in Hawaii to meet with Lentini in Chicago. It was this meeting that led to their next stop, New Zealand, the home of the richest source of deer antler velvet. Within months, Lentini had brought the supplement to his ailing cousin, and in doing so, had introduced the healing power of deer antler velvet and IGF-1 to the Western world. Doctors credit Lentini's efforts and the restorative nature of IGF-1 with adding over 10 years to young Michael's life. This was the birth of Nutronics Labs, which today, some 20 years later, is now the leading source of deer antler velvet in the Northern Hemisphere and beyond, helping thousands and thousands of people around the world. You'll find more about Nutronics Labs and the brilliant medical and business professional team that make up this service-minded company at www.nutronicslabs.com. Helen Keller once said, quote, "The struggle of life is one of our greatest blessings. It makes us patient, sensitive, and godlike. It teaches us that although the world is full of suffering, it is also full of overcoming it." Unquote. Dr. Rick Lentini's story is living proof that overcoming the impossible can give birth to something so meaningful. Welcome to Nutronics Labs.